Live.
This is the first time going live on YouTube Live. I've never used YouTube Live. I've always used Streamlabs. So this is the first time, and I'm glad to share it with you, my friend.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
pretty cool, man. It'll take a little bit for people to pop up, but
Yeah, I figured that. And then, also too, how do I see the chat?
um
I'm on
it
my
should
phone.
be
Oh,
it should be come up on your phone.
oh, it probably comes up on the bottom when people start commenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. There's transient there.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's
what's up,
transit.
man? There we go. First person in the live. All right. Sweet, sweet. Bear with me, guys. This is my first time on YouTube Live. I'm old school. I was using Streamlabs, so this is a new thing. So I'm gonna try it out. So work with me here. What's up,
Avocado
Avocado?
Stacker, what's up, man?
Maestrio Metals. What's up? And I can't help but notice, looking at those beautiful silver eagles there.
Oh yeah, I just put them out.
You know, they're by far my favorite silver coin to stack.
Yeah.
And I actually, I told you today I went and picked up two 10-ounce bars after work. And I asked the coin shop, I was like, hey, what's up, Nicky Silver Stacker? I asked the coin shop guy, I was like, what do you ask on your Eagles? And he was asking 6 over spot, which is not terrible compared to online prices, but it's still not where I want to be at. But when I got home, I messaged the guy that I've been dealing with, where I've been buying a lot of my vintage silver. Um, you know, I've posted a few videos about the angle hearts I've been buying, my new connection with the 90%. And he offered me a tube of backdated Eagles. I believe they were 2006 for a
Nice.
dollar over spot. So I'm going to meet him Saturday and snag those because that's unheard of. And people are probably like, gonna comment, oh, how can you get Eagles for a dollar over spot? This guy, he's like, he buys stuff quick and wants to like offload it quick. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
mostly like a coin shop dealer. He's not like a coin show dealer. He's not a bullion dealer, or like, he's not like he doesn't have a coin shop. He doesn't have a brick and mortar. So he doesn't have overhead really. So, he just buys silver, a few dollars under spot and then tries to sell it quick for just a few over spot. So, very glad I met him. I met him at the Hackettstown Coin Show, and great
Oh,
dude,
nice.
great dude. Made so many great deals with him. I've been buying Engelhart bars for like 10-ounce Engelhart bars for like $2 to $3 over spot. And
Man,
90% I'm paying like, geez. Well, last weekend I picked up melt on dimes. We're going for 350, 360 a piece. I snagged dimes at 310 a piece. So he's awesome. Great dude. But yeah,
hey, there's 21 people in the chat. Go ahead and
oh,
hit
look at
that thumbs
that.
up, man. Like it up. Like it
What's
up.
up, guys?
Avocado Stacker, $4 over spot on ASCs. That's not
Hey,
bad right now.
can't
Not
beat
bad at
that.
all.
No, $4 over spot is great. For Silver Eagles, that's amazing. You remember just a few years ago, the Eagle prices, they got up to like double digits.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they did. Uh, but when I was first getting into stacking, my parents still lived in Oregon, and I was watching that guy that stacking channel that's over there in that area, and I called up
oh,
the coin shop
dragons?
that I called up the coin shop that he always visits, Harry's or whatever,
Hmm.
and I remember I paid $42 for an eagle back then, man, and like
Yeah.
spot price back then was probably low to mid 20s, and
Yeah, yeah.
that was crazy, but
Yeah, I remember that
you
just
know,
like yesterday, man. Because when I started stacking, that was pretty much the first coin that I really got into, and I stacked the hell out of eagles, most of my stacking journey. But I
Yeah.
remember, there was a good 2 years where I stopped stacking them because the premiums were insane. They were like crazy, like I said, double digits. And then just before I took a break from YouTube, I'd say the last 5 months before I left YouTube for a little, um, I started stacking, eagles again. And I don't know, I'm sure you remember I was filling up a monster box, and I
Yeah.
was able
Yeah.
to
I remember
finish it.
that.
Yeah, I was able to finish it up within about, like, 3 to 4 months. And that's because the premiums on Eagles dropped down as low as $3 over spot. So that was like everyone was buying Eagles at that point because it was the cheapest it's been in years. But
Yeah.
now, Eagles, you know, I've noticed with the 2025 Eagles, there must be like a limited run, a limited mintage, like not so much a limited mintage, but a lesser mintage this year than the previous years because at the coin shop today, the 2025s, he was asking 10 over spot, but I could get the back dates for 6 over spot. So, he said that there was like they were harder to get a hold of the 2025 Eagles for some reason. And I've noticed that across a lot of coin shops and a lot of dealers. If you look at the 2025, Eagles, they're a much higher premium than the back dates.
Well, I noticed that was it was a few months ago that at the vault here in Odessa that I asked him if he had any 2025 Eagles and he didn't have any. And then a couple weeks later he'd picked up a monster box from one of the other coin shops that's pretty close by.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean he flat out was like, I don't have any 2025s.
Yeah, a lot of dealers are having a hard time getting a hold of them, I guess. I was talking to the coin shop owner there for a while today, and he was saying, because I originally walked in there and I was like, "Hey, what's the price on your 2025 Eagles? Let me get a tube." And he was like, "The price is 10 over," and I'm like, "No." And he's like, "I can only sell them but singles." I'm like, "You can't sell me
Yeah.
a tube." He's like, "No." He's like, "I don't have that much." But I was like, "All right, do you have any sealed tube of back dates?" And he's like, "Yeah, 6 over spot." But I was like, "Eh." I was like, "What's your 10-ounce bars at?" And he said, $2 over. So I ended up just getting 2 10-ounce bars. But yeah, the premiums they're higher on Eagles now, especially the newer ones. But it's good. Some coin shops I've noticed where you can get them, for about like who was it that said 4 over spot? Avocado.
Avocado, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Eagles are great though. They're just a
Yeah, they are.
great silver coin. They're extremely liquid. They're just awesome. They're definitely, if the premiums were lower on them right now, I'd tell everybody to buy them. That's like the go-to silver bullion coin.
Transit,
Yeah,
too bad it couldn't be on a Saturday, man, when I'm off work.
yeah, let's see
But
who's in the
he'll
chat here.
Transit, he'll remember you and yeah, man. So Patriotic Transit Stacker, he cruised by through West Texas one day and he stopped and it was on a Sunday. And
Mhm.
he's like, let's go grab a bite to eat. So in typical West Texas fashion, the whole the whole family had to go. So it's like our first one-on-one meeting with Transit Stacker, and I got my wife and the kids and all that.
Hey,
Yeah,
Transient, let me know when you're in New York, man.
yeah, but we love him, man. We love him, and we look forward to any chance he can to stop in. I wish. He at one point he was driving this truck that was always breaking down everywhere, and then I was like, man, why couldn't it break down here? But
No, it always breaks down where you don't want it to break down. That's how it goes, you know what I mean? It always breaks down. You get a flat tire when you don't want to get a flat tire. Something happens with your car when you don't want it. When you're somewhere where you don't want it to happen. I remember I was driving to work, and no, I was driving. Yeah, I was leaving my house to go to a job, and of course, I made it to the job, but I couldn't leave the job because my car wouldn't start.
Yeah.
So it was time. It was time to get a new vehicle at that point. But yeah, no, there's some people in the chat here. First time live stream here on YouTube, and thanks for
Yeah,
stopping in,
there's
guys. It's great, awesome.
Justin's asking. He found I think he's meaning a Canadian coin. Has 3 or
Canadian,
4 errors on it.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Constitutional's in the house. What's up,
Hey,
man?
what's up, Cons? What you doing, man? Living the dream. I hope I never go to New York City in my truck. No, not New York City. I wouldn't recommend New York City. But New York, I mean, I'm an hour and 30 minutes from New York City, so it's not bad in my area here, luckily. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend driving in New York City. I hate driving in New York City. It's terrible. Benjamin, what's up, man? About ready to take a nap. I hear you, man. See, I'm a late owl. I like to stay up late. I usually clock out probably like midnight, 1 o'clock. But yeah, what do you think about the silver price, man?
Oh, crazy, man. It's crazy.
Insane. Yeah, it's so funny like because today when I woke up, when I first wake up, I always check out the spot prices. I see what's going on. And it was at 54 this morning.
Yeah.
And then when I was finished up with my job today, I got paid and I was like, you know what? There's a coin shop right down the road from this job I work at frequently. And I went down there. I was like, you know what? Let me buy some metals. Let's see what we got here. And it was like perfect timing. This was around like between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, and silver dropped down to 52.70. So and then now I looked at it just before jumping here on live here, and it's back at like 53, high 53.
I
So
saw that. I
you
looked
can't
at
beat
it
that,
earlier.
man. That was a good time for me right there. I timed
Yeah.
it perfectly. Oh, geez. Hey, Constitutional. My aunt lived in New York, not the city. Yeah, New York's a nice state, man. It really is. It's a beautiful state. Has a lot to offer. The only downside, man, New York City takes the whole state down. It gives this whole state a bad rep. But other than that, New York, it's a great state. Despite the high taxes and the politics. Other than that, it's a nice state. It's a beautiful state. There's a lot of good people here. But yeah, I recommend staying away from New York City. Michelangelo, how you doing? Gold is stable.
Michelangelo. Silver is
Absolutely.
volatile. Gold is stable. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Boy.
Gold's at what, 42? 42? I think it's like
Yeah, I haven't checked it
42.12 or
yet.
something. That's
I'm
crazy, man. It keeps going up. Like, the last video I did no, before that, there was a video I did about 10-ounce bars and stuff. My favorite silver bar size is stack. And it's crazy. Like, I was talking, and then I just thought to myself, what 5-ounce bars are going for today, 5-ounce silver bars, is what I was paying 2.5 years ago for a 10-ounce silver bar. That's
yeah.
insane. It's insane just to think of that. You know what I mean? Because, I've been stacking for 12 years. And within the first 10 years, silver stayed between that $14 to $25 an ounce. Sometimes you would get the 32, like when there was a little hike or something, but it would stay between that 14 to $25 range. Sometimes it would go above and hit 30, but it would drop quickly back down below at 25 or below.
Yeah.
And like the last 2 years, it's just gone nuts. And I mean, I've always said gold and silver was undervalued. Gold was worth more than 2,000 an ounce. Silver was worth more than $15 an ounce. I always said it was manipulated, it was undervalued, and I, but to see it climb like this in such a quick period of time, like I'm sure you guys that have been stacking for a while can relate. I mean, we've seen silver struggle to get past this, that $25 an ounce mark. It would stay between that 14 to 25, $28 an ounce range. Gold would stay between that $1,500 to $2,200 an ounce range. And just these last 2 years, there's been constant hikes, barely any dips. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it's insane. So a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not stacking as much as I did, obviously, because I've stacked most of my weight, especially cheap. A lot of my silver was in between that 14 to $25 an ounce range, and my gold was between that 15 to 22, $2,300 an ounce range. So, recently, but I'm not going to stop stacking because I'm going to continue to stack. I'm young, I mean, this is how I save. This is how I protect my wealth. But I had to change my strategy up. There's no more me buying 6 tubes of Eagles at a time. You know what I mean? And like
Oh, I know. Now, what's a two Eagles going for now?
well,
It's
that's
over
1,200,
1,000,
roughly
1,200.
between 1,000 and $1,200. So depending where you get them, you know what I mean? Like I've seen like
No,
online. What was that?
I remember before you'd left and you were working on that monster box, you were getting a tube of Eagles for,
500-600 bucks.
yeah, 500-600 bucks.
Yeah, yeah, five because figure a 10-ounce bar at that time was about between 250 and 280.
Yeah.
So 20 ounces of Eagles plus the extra premium because there's more premium on Eagles. I was getting a tube of Eagles for about between the 550 to at most $680 mark. But
Yeah.
now a tube of Eagles is between, like I said, 11 to $1,200. Certain places online they're upwards to $1,300. You got to figure it's the silver weight plus anywhere from $4 to $8 over spot, depending where you're buying them. I mean, if you buy from
Yeah.
AppMax or SD Bullion, you're probably going to spend $20 over spot. But you know, yeah, I can't stack like I used to, and not that I want to stack like I used to, because I've amassed a lot of silver and gold through the years, especially at these prices. So like me, I've never been into 5-ounce bars. I've never really liked them. I just thought they were odd weights. I was always 10-ounce in kilos. Well, I'm not stacking kilos anymore. Only time I'll buy a kilo is if the price is like practically spot price, or maybe 25 cents over. But stick to my 10-ounce bar. My 10-ounce bar is the biggest silver bar that I'll buy now with these current prices. And then the lowest, then the 5-ouncers. I've gotten into the 5-ouncers recently, and I've never been a fan of them because, like I said, $1,000, $2,000 would get you far 2, 3 years ago in the silver and gold, stack. But now you walk into a coin shop, you buy a 1/10 gold eagle and a 10-ounce bar, you're at the $1,000 mark.
Easily. Yeah, I think
Easy.
a lot of people right now are priced out of gold. They're just. I mean,
Yeah.
we might be able to get some fractional here and there, but there's a lot of people that, with the way the economy is and all that, it just doesn't really leave too much extra for a big chunk of gold.
Yeah. No, exactly. Avocado just said my cost average is 28 an ounce. I'm doing good, I think. That's absolutely great.
That
You
is great.
practically, if you sold your silver right now, you practically doubled your money, man. That's great. And even just say you started stacking 2 months ago. If your average is at spot or $1 or $2 or $3 below that, that's great too. It,
Yeah.
it gets tricky when you start going over, like, say, if the silver price right now is $52, right? Let's just say a flat 52, and your average cost for silver is 56. maybe you want to change up your strategy a little because you're stacking more premium stuff. But if your average is at the spot or below, you're doing good. But obviously, everybody's got that collectible, limited edition, something they had to have in their stack that's going to cost, way over the melt price. I have a bunch of things in my stack that's, I had to have. Like I sent you a
That,
picture of the
yeah.
Soviet
Actually,
bar.
my next video was going to be about that. The
What was it
things
going
that
to
I
be?
got. It was going to be about the some of the things that I bought that as I could have probably I bought a graded 2 ounce proof Libertad, and at the time I probably could have bought 4 ounces of silver instead of just the 2 ounces.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, exactly. I mean, for example, I've had that happen plenty of times. Like every year when the Libertads release, their silver coins and their gold coins. Obviously, this year's if you get a Libertad 2025 Libertad, you're extremely lucky because they only
Yeah,
made like I think 300. But like for example, I would try to buy a tube of silver Libertads every year. Um, but for the price I paid for that tube, I probably could have got an extra 5 ounces if I just went generic. So everybody's always got that thing that they want that they got to have. For example, Joe just commented here. What did he say? Have you seen those 5 ounce Canadian silver maple leaves? Those are a new thing. And I would pay the extra premium just to have one of those.
well,
Those
you're in
things are
luck because
awesome.
I think the new ones that they were just showing on YouTube are you can only get them through SD Bullion so far.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you're really paying over the premium at
Now
that
they
point.
they have I guess they have made 5 ounce maples before, but they were more of a collector's
Yeah,
commemorative
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. They kind of
This is
took
actually yeah,
Yeah, they kind of took after like the Libertads. So because the Libertads are
yeah.
known for making their 1 ounce or 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 5 ounce coins. You know what I mean? They would but the Maples they started. The Royal Canadian Mint started doing that. But you know who I'd like to start seeing doing that? United States Mint. How many people would love to see the United States Mint release a 10 ounce, a 5 ounce, and a 1 ounce United States Mint silver bar? Wouldn't that be freaking awesome?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Or even if they just said, you know what? Let's release a 5 ounce, a 2 ounce, a 3 ounce, a 10 ounce, or a kilo American Silver Eagle bullion coin.
That would
You know,
be
be freaking
that'd be
great.
nice, man.
Yeah, man. And also, what I'd like to see the U.S. Mint start doing too is bringing back fractional buffaloes. They only did fractional buffaloes for like 1 year
Yeah, the
because,
fractional gold buffaloes.
yeah, because the only fractional gold we can stack from the U.S. Mint are obviously the Eagles. I mean,
Yeah.
they have like their commemorative releases and stuff like that, but they're not, they're more collectible, coins. But I'm saying like for stacking gold, they should release like another do more fractional buffaloes, do like a 1/10, a quarter ounce, half ounce. That would be awesome. Or even if they released another US Mint gold coin, like came up with another design, added a third coin to their selection, I'd be all for that, especially now with our current administration. If they had like someone in their administration draw something up, like something extremely patriotic or something, that would be freaking
Yeah, that would be
awesome.
awesome, man. And like
Oh
you said,
yeah.
not just one of their commemoratives or collector pieces, like an actual, you know, US Mint coin, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Even
So,
avocado said a 5 ounce reverse proof eagle. You know what I mean? There's so many things. Like, dude, if I was like the head of the US Mint, dude, I would kill it, man. I would kill it. I'd probably, run them out of silver and gold because I would just come up with so many cool ideas.
well, they're really, I think they're really taking it too far with this privy mark stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Um, I never got into like the privies. I know there's a lot of people in the community that like to collect the privies, maple privies, all the privy marks on coins and stuff. I've never really got into them. But I mean, some of them are cool, but I don't think they should charge like a ton over just because they put a little freaking stamp on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and then now they it's even easier for them because they laser engrave them.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was the
So
last one? Was it like the Liberty Bell or some shit?
now they had it started with that star privy, then
Hmm.
it went to an eagle privy, and then something else, and now they're doing the military privies, the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard.
Hey, it's at least it's military and it's not that LGBT ABC shit.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows? That
Privy in
might
it,
be next. I
rain.
mean, they just it's all just all they got to do is punch it into the program there, and they can laser preview whatever the hell they want on anything.
Shit. Just put a giant penis privy on the eagle. If that was gonna come out, that would have came out, the last administration. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Avocado says he's disappointed in those DC medals. I haven't bought any,
All right.
but I
DC
was looking at
medals.
that. Yeah, the mint came out. The U.S. Mint came out with some DC metal. They got the Superman, Batman, and they do the silver and the gold ones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
See, what
the
I was
Superman one, I didn't like the way it looked.
yeah. See, like the US Mint can do so much better, man. They have so many opportunities, so many cool things they can. I mean, I've told them for years, take notes from like the Royal Canadian Mint. Like their mint shields, their security features. Like, what's our security feature on our Eagles? They put a little a slit on the side of the coin and they move the placement every year. You know what I mean? That's like
Yeah,
there's so many things the US Mint can do. Like, I think releasing US Mint silver bars would be a start. Um, taking the silver eagles and making other sizes. Um,
that that's it
fr-
right there. That's the security feature.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I love American Silver Eagles. Again, they're my favorite bullion coin to stack, but there's so many more things that the US Mint can do. You remember the hype on the Morgans and the Peace dollars when they said, "Oh, we're gonna remake the Morgan and Peace dollar commemoratives,"
Yeah,
and there was so
yeah.
much hype. So many people were so excited. Now, I couldn't stand them. I disliked them, and this is why. I would have made them the exact same. Now, obviously, they're not going to be aged like the typical 90% Morgans, but I would have made them in 90%. First of all, I wouldn't have made them in 3 nines fine or 4 nines fine, wherever they made them in. I would have made them in 90%, and I would have made them the exact same size and the exact same silver amount that was in the Morgans and Peace dollars. You know what I mean? I didn't like them. They could have done so much better. Like if you're gonna do
Well,
a
that's
commemorative to
what I'm
honor
saying.
that
Like,
coin, do it in the way they were made back in the day. Hey, what's up,
how
210?
much? How much did them dang things cost when they came out?
I think they were between 75 and $110. And some of
Yeah.
the mints, like the Carson Cities ones, were more.
Uh
But
huh.
I remember they were sold out for the longest time, and then they would, I would get the notification that they were back, and then it would sell out. People were going nuts over them. And they were buying out the collections and they were reselling them, and then US Mint limited to I think one or two or three per household or something. It just was too much. What's up,
It was,
JK?
and like I said, like I was saying earlier, at the time, how many ounces of silver could you have bought for
Well, yeah,
buying one of those privies like the 2021 peace dollar?
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I can't, like I consider myself a stacker, and I do collect. there's certain things that I'm a sucker for, like mint state toned Morgans, like rainbow toned Morgans. I will
Yeah.
spend, five, $600 on a mint state common date Morgan just because of the rainbow tones. There's certain things that I, like Libertad, certain Libertads. If I come across the 2025 silver Libertad, you know, I'll give the guy some money for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that I like. I'm a sucker for vintage silver, vintage silver bars. If I have to pay, luckily the premiums are really low on them right now.
They
I'm getting
are.
them for, I'm getting them for crazy deals. But before, when the premiums were high on them, I was, spending quite a bit of money over spot. So there's those certain things that everybody likes to have or collect. You know what I mean? But, and you kind of separate that collection from your stack. Like my Morgans, I don't count that towards my stack or my, I don't put that in my spreadsheet. I don't monitor that. I just write down, what I have, the date, I obviously keep it separated,
Yeah.
because I know that's not for the stack. That's just for, eye appeal, something that I like, collection, pass down to the kids or whatever. Because I know, for example, that tone Morgan, yeah, it's a common date, let's say. It's a mint state, but that coin, if it wasn't toned, it would probably sell for, say, $150, right? Or $100 in a PCGS slab or NGC slab. But so if I were to bring that coin to a coin shop, they're not going to look at that tone. They're just going to say, all right, it's a common date. It's a basic year. Here's, $20 under what you paid. But
Yep.
if there might be that guy out there that likes it just as much as I do and collects them just as much as I do and say, you know what, I'll give you $1,000 for it right now. So that's why I keep it separated. I don't count that as a stack. So, when I'm stacking, it's clearly, cheap silver, the stuff I like. And then, there's the things that I collect that I just keep separated. I don't count that.
Yeah, and like the thing with that is, with Mrs. West Texas and the kids is trying to explain to them you know, what silver is what, like this right
Mhm.
here. Don't take that to the coin shop because he's going to give you, you know, a dollar below spot or whatever for it.
Yeah.
You're better off like I have this and I didn't know I was buying it at the time. And of course, Chris at the LCS, the coin shop owner here at the Vault,
Mhm.
he sold it to me like at a dollar over spot, but it was a 4.75 ounce Spokane bullion ink bar.
Oh, you showed me that bar,
Yeah.
or I seen it on your channel. Spokane out
And
of Washington.
yeah. And I looked it up on All Englehart and there's less than 500 of them.
Dude, you could sell that bar for 1,000 or more. Easy.
So yeah, and that's what I'm trying to, keep teach them, or show them. Mrs. has caught on to it, but like this right here, put it to the side. Don't take it back because he's going to sell it. He's going to buy it from me what he sold it to me for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely like the
exactly.
collector's pieces. You got to keep those aside, and you got to put a little history on it, so that way the wife knows. God forbid something should ever happen to me,
Exactly.
but that way she knows.
Well, that's like me. Like if something ever happens to me, I have it written down and saved on a file. Prices, price range, the spot price. Now, obviously, if I die, next year, I'm not going to know what the freaking spot prices are. But like,
Yeah,
I have it where, my wife can say, hey, they're in the book, look at spot price at Kitco or, Kitco.com or, AppMex, so she can get an idea of the spot price, know what the spot price is. And if something were to happen, she would know what to bring to a coin shop to offload and what to like post on eBay or try to sell to another buyer. Like, for example,
yeah,
I I see so many stacker collectors or whatever, getting out of silver, especially now because they've stacked a long time ago and now they're going to these coin shops and they're offloading. Well, they have,
yeah,
and then you have some of these people that are collectors, right? And they're going to coin shops and they're selling these collectible coins, right? That they paid high premiums for. the coin shop, they're going to give you next to nothing for them. They're going to give you below spot or spot price. You paid over that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
collectible coins like my toned rainbow Morgans, um, any collectible coins with higher premiums that I know I'm not going to, when I offload, I wouldn't bring it to a coin shop. I would list those like on eBay or, find, on through the community where there's people like me that might, love, commemorative half dollars or might love, toned rainbow mint state Morgans, you know what I mean? Or vintage bars. So it's like you got to know where to bring your stuff. You know what I mean? Your bullion, bring it to a coin shop if you're ready to offload. Collectible pieces, unless it's, very sought after at the moment and, the coin shops are paying good on them, then go for it. But I would recommend them selling them to, you know, eBay. I mean, they take a fee, but if you're asking a lot of money, it's they don't take that big of a fee. But, you know, take the
Yeah.
time, sit on it. You don't rush selling those coins. You wait for the right buyer. Because I could sell my toned Morgan Rainbow, right now probably for, $100. But for the right buyer that falls in love with the colors on that coin,
Mhm.
I could sell it for 600 to the right buyer. So, I'm not in a rush to sell it. Someone offers it to me, hey, here, thanks. I'll take that 600 and I'll go buy a 10-ounce bar and an ounce of silver.
Yeah, definitely. Um, there's definitely a secondary market for a lot of this stuff. Colored
Ex-
Morgans and the toned silver. You know, uh, this coworker that when I first started stacking, he was listening, but he wasn't really into it. And then he started stacking, and he started getting into those toned Morgans and piece dollars and stuff and toned silver. And I was like,
Mhm.
be careful with that stuff, man, because you know you're buying it off of eBay.
Yeah.
You might not get your money out of it when you go to sell it back if you go to a coin shop.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to bring up any names because this guy is a nice guy in the community, but I remember he got crazy into numismatic coins. And
Yeah,
I don't recommend anyone getting into numismatic coins unless you know about your history about those coins and you know your numismatic coins and the values. Don't get involved just because they look cool in a cool looking slab. There's too many people that do that. And there's this guy in the community. I'm sure you guys know. I'm not going to say his name because it's messed up, and I feel bad. But he did it to himself. He started stacking slab barbers and all these slabbed coins, right? And he was paying obviously over what they were worth. And so that's why I always recommend checking, the red book or checking, gray sheets, checking, PCGS what they're at that grade, that coin, what it's worth. I always recommend doing that. Well, he came across some money issues and he went into the coin shop, sold all of
um,
them for I think like $15 a piece, 10 to
oh
$15 a
wow,
piece. You know what I mean? And he had some coins there that were worth 100. There was coins there that was worth, $60, $50, 40. He had nothing major, nothing like, a holy grail coin. He didn't have any 1916 D Mercury dimes or anything like that. But
yeah,
he had some coins that were up to $100 and he sold them all for like between $10 and $20 a piece. And, that was just a total bad decision there. But I mean, that's the thing, anything can happen, money issues, financial troubles. I mean, you can be driving down the road, getting in an accident, you're out of work, and now, your insurance isn't covering all your medical bills, and now you need to go out of pocket. But
yeah,
that's why it's so important to separate your metals from your emergency fund. If all you have is metals and you have no cash stashed away, I mean, that's going to suck to have to sell your metal, especially if it dips down. You know what I mean? If you bought on the high right now, right? You bought at 54, let's say, and now it's at 46, and you need money now. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to dip into that, or sell your numismatic coins because, you don't have the time, right, to list them on eBay and wait for the right buyer or go to coin shows and find the right dealers. No, now you got to go to your coin shop and you got to offload these quick because I need cash now, or pawn shops or whatever they go. You know, it's, I thank God I've never run into an issue where I had to sell my metals in like an emergency situation. The only time I offloaded some silver was because when I took a break from YouTube, there was some family issues and it was my choice. I just sold some silver to cover some expenses,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to do that. I was just, wanted to offload some silver, didn't want to tap into the cash at that time, but I've never had to be in that position. And some people, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, families first, your health first, all that. But you don't want to have to do that because that guy, man, I watched his journey buying these numismatic coins, $40 here, $60 there, and then he filmed it going to the coin shop, selling them for between $10 to $20 a piece. I think he walked out with like $300, and he
That
probably
would be
spent a
hard.
thousand in total. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't
That'd
want to have
be
to do that.
heartbreaking, man. Yeah.
So, moral to the story:
So,
keep some cash.
yeah. So you get these, on this vertical live stream here, you get these people that'll hold their messages for review. Food Raider 21 says, and I don't know how he gets this, but he says, "You look like if a man and a woman had a baby." No shit.
So fucking stupid. It's funny.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, so who's else
No,
in the
man. I
chat
mean,
here? What's up,
I'm
Rick?
I'm pretty.
7 stacks.
We're pretty lucky. We've sold. I think a few years ago, I bought a 10th ounce platinum, and then I bought another 10th ounce platinum. And me and the missus were thinking about it, and we're like, "What are we even doing with these? Like, that's all you have is two 1/10 ounce platinum coins." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, we're just not into it. So I was like, well, we'll see what he gives us. And he gave us a good deal. I mean, platinum went up, so he gave us,
Yeah.
you know, more than what we paid for him. So,
See, now I
but
do
thank
that a
God
lot.
that's all we've had to sell.
Yeah. Like I do that a lot. There's times where, I'm looking at my silver stack and I'm like, yeah, it's a little overflowing. Let me sell it and get some more gold. Let me sell a little silver and get some more gold. Or, I remember when I first started stacking a lot, when I first started stacking, I was like buying platinum and shit. And eventually I was like, platinum's not for me. I got rid of it and bought gold. But anytime I do it, when it comes to gold and silver, and if I sell anything, it's by choice, not because I have to. You know what I mean? Or because I'm trading, or
Yeah.
I'm giving this guy 100 ounces for some gold or whatever. I'm switching it up. But I always recommend keeping some cash. You know, because it would suck to have to sell. And plus, we work so hard to stack and bust our butts for financial security for our
Yeah.
future, for our kids, for our children, and just to get in a situation where you have to sell. And I mean, it happens, but it sucks. It sucks. It like demoralizes you. You know what I mean? You feel like, damn, how did I get in this position? But it happens. But keep some cash. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, and I know a lot of people say don't get attached, but I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of us are attached to our stacks.
I'm beyond attached to
And
my stack.
so, and
But
and then I thought about that too. I thought, well, maybe I should. Oh, Christmas is coming up. Maybe I should sell some gold. And
yeah,
Mrs. was like, if you sell it, you know how with the price going up, you know how hard it's going to be to freaking get it back.
as long as it's by choice,
Yep.
then it's okay. If you say, you know what, it's worth me selling this little bit of gold just so I have some extra money for Christmas gifts, as long as it's by choice.
Yeah.
But West,
We
I think
usually
we're
don't.
gonna wrap it up today.
All right, man.
I'm gonna hit the bed here soon and keep
Yeah,
my
it's what
mug.
time is it over there?
It's 11 o'clock, but
Oh yeah, it's just barely 10 here.
yeah. But you know what? We need to do this again, and
Heck yeah, man.
maybe me and you can start a little stream where we can stream few times once a few times a month, once a week or something. We'll have to figure something out because this was fun, and I
Yeah,
appreciate it,
no
man.
doubt.
And it's first time on YouTube Live. Awesome, so much better than Streamlabs,
Hold
especially
on.
the graphics.
JLo has a question. Any
Yeah,
thoughts on the new 5 ounce silver Canadian maple leafs?
the
Oh,
five. I haven't seen much about them yet. I've seen that they've recently been released, and I definitely want to get one, but I haven't heard too much about it yet. But I think they're cool, absolutely, for the right price.
for the right price, yeah.
Yeah, if they're
Oh,
asking $1,000 for it,
so
I'm not buying it.
eventually what's going to happen is somebody's going to buy it from SD Bullion, or a few people are going to buy it from SD Bullion. They're going to have it. They're going to take it to the coin shop to sell it, and you're going to get it for, you know, way less than you would have bought it on eBay or SD Bullion for. Uh,
Absolutely.
the Infinite Mag opinion on pre 33 gold. I love it. I
Love it.
love pre 33
It's
gold.
best gold ever made.
Yeah,
That's when, and not only that it's gold, not only that fact that it's gold, the history behind it.
yeah,
That's what really gets me going with pre-33. I mean, it's just who held this coin? You know what I mean? Like when those coins came out, that was the industrial age of America.
yeah.
The first billionaires of America, the first people that created this country, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, all these great people. They had those $20 gold pieces in their pocket, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just so cool. Same thing with 90%. I think 90% silver and pre 33 gold is the king of the bullion world.
Oh yeah, definitely. Infinite Mag. That's a good choice for your first piece of gold. Are you new to stacking? That's cool, man.
Yeah,
This is why I kind of like these vertical lives, man. Is because you get the flow of traffic is from everywhere,
yeah,
and if you can get somebody into stacking or open their eyes to it just a little bit, it's so worth it.
absolutely. And that's why I started YouTube, man.
Yeah,
I did this, because I wanted to meet people where I can talk to about precious metals because before YouTube, before this community, if you wanted to talk to somebody about precious metals, it's when you went to your local coin shop. So, I came on here to spread my hobby and show off the things I was getting. And then, eventually there was people tuning into my channel and they said, "Hey, you inspired me to stack." And that means more to me than anything else, on this channel, on YouTube. So, if I can help just that one person, I'm all for it.
yeah,
But guys, if you're not subscribed to West Texas Stacker, make sure you go to his channel and give him a big old subscribe and a like and watch his videos.
yeah.
And dude,
Patriotic's
I
always got good stuff out. He's
I try. I
uh,
fumble my words a lot, but I try.
hey, so do I, man. And I don't I don't edit anything.
Yeah. I edit a
So
little bit, but not much. Nothing compared to some of these guys. My editing is you know, my intro. The macho
yeah.
man. But all right, West. This was good. We'll have to do this again.
John think yeah. Yeah, man, you gotta get to bed, dude. John,
Absolutely.
uh,
Uh,
maybe. I don't know. We have some crypto, but I don't really dabble too much into it. Anyways,
all right, guys. It was fun. Thank
this
you
was
for all
fun,
tuning
patriotic.
in.
Let's definitely do this again.
Absolutely. Well, I'll text you after. We'll set up
Yeah,
another day.
yeah,
Absolutely.
sounds
Thanks
good.
again, man. This was
Yep.
great.
Thanks everybody. Thanks
God
everybody
bless
for
you guys.
watching. Hey,
Thanks again.
subscribe. Patriotics, good stuff, man.
And make sure you subscribe to West. And remember, keep stacking.
Yeah, keep stacking.
Peace.